flying. She let out a small, appreciative sigh and closed the little book with a snap, then passed it to me and asked its price. I consulted the penciled notation on its flyleaf and the tax table that's taped to my counter. The last hike boosted the sales tax to 8.25%, and there are people who can figure out that sort of thing in their heads, but they probably can't pick locks. God gives us all different talents, and we do what we can with them. $12, I announced, plus 99 cents tax. She put a 10 and 3 singles on the counter, and I put her book in a paper bag, fastened it with a bit of Scotch tape, and gave her a penny. Our hands touched for an instant when she took the coin from me, and there was a bit of a charge in the contact. Nothing overpowering, nothing to knock one off one's feet, but it was there, and she cocked her head, and our eyes met for an instant. The author of a Regency romance would note that a silent understanding passed between us, but that's nonsense. All that passed between us was a penny. My other customer was examining a buckram-bound quarto volume by Matthew Gilligan, S.J., The Cato Grammatic versus the Cinco Grammatic, it was called. Or was it the other way around? I'd had the book ever since old Mr. Litzauer sold me the store, and if I'd never dusted the shelves, it would never have been picked up at all. If this chap was going to steal something, I thought, let him hook that one. But he returned Father Gilligan to his shelf even as Mary Carolyn Davies went out the door with my demure little poetry lover. I watched her until she crossed my threshold. She was wearing a suit and a matching beret in plum or cranberry or whatever they're calling it this year, and it was a good color for her. And then I watched him as he approached my counter and rested one hand on it. His expression, insofar as the beard showed it, was guarded. He asked me if I bought books, and his voice sounded rusty, as if he didn't get too many chances to use it. I allowed that I did, if they were books I thought I could sell. He propped his attaché case on the counter, worked its clasps, and opened it to reveal a single large volume which he took up and presented to me. Lepidoptery was its title, François Dujardin was its author, and old-world butterflies and moths were its subject matter, discussed exhaustively, I can only presume, in its French text and illustrated spectacularly upon its color plates. "The frontispiece is missing," he told me as I paged through the book. "The other 53 plates are intact." I nodded, my eyes on a page of swallowtail butterflies. When I was a boy, I used to pursue such creatures with a homemade net, killing them in a mason jar, then spreading their wings and pinning them in cigar boxes. I must have had a reason for such curious behavior, but I can't begin to imagine what it might have been. "Print dealers break these up," he said, "but this is such a desirable volume, and in such good condition I thought it really ought to go to an antiquarian book dealer." I nodded again, this time looking at moths. One was a Cecropia. That and the Luna are the only moths I know by name. I used to know others. I closed the book, asked him what he wanted for it. $100, he said. "That's less than $2 a plate. A print dealer would charge 5 or 10 a plate, and he'd get that easily from decorators." "Could be," I said. I ran my finger over the book's top edge, where a rectangle enclosed the stamped words New York Public Library. I opened the book again, looking for a withdrawn stamp. Libraries do divest themselves of books, just as museums deaccession some of their holdings, though Dujardin's Lepidoptery hardly seemed a candidate for such treatment. "Those overdue charges can mount up," I said sympathetically. "But they have these amnesty days now and then when you can return overdue books with no penalty. It seems unfair to those of us who pay our fines without protest, but I suppose it does get books back in circulation, and that's the important thing, isn't it?" I closed the book again, set it deliberately into his open